well, who's going to kill penalties?
Who cares?
Who cares?
Who freaking cares?
Thank you.
Stick talk. 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 Stick talk.
And hockey.
Hockey.
Yes, sir.
Welcome back, everyone. This is episode 87 of Stick Talk Hockey, the Sidney Crosby episode.
Ooh-wee.
Ooh.
I was going to say both of those things. Y'all
Oh.
both stole my lines.
I'm sorry.
Took the ooh-wee and took the Sidney Crosby reference.
That's tough. Well, hey, we'll give you your flowers first. Then here is co-host.
I'm yours truly.
I am other co-host Tico. There is our producer
Producer Jay.
stealing the oohies early, and
Ooh-wee.
we got
Please throw that Rick and Morty little
yeah, facts.
guy in there.
We got a big week. Honestly, there was a lot of breaking news today, the day of the recording. It is Friday currently, and right out the gate, I mean, something that's been bubbling for a few weeks here finally comes to a head, and Jacob Trouba is out the door, out to Anaheim.
Yeah, I feel like this is something that, like, it's been bubbling for more than a few weeks. This has been happening since last summer.
Yeah, but it was really like looking like, oh, okay, he's going now.
Yeah. As soon as we saw that healthy scratch, we knew what was happening. Like, we all knew what time it was.
So, yeah, that's right. He goes to the Anaheim Ducks. The captain is going to the Anaheim Ducks for a 2024 conditional fourth-round pick. And a guy whose name I don't know how to say, but Vakinanen.
Vakaranen.
I don't see an R in that spelling, at least. But you were spelling Trouba wrong all day today, so I don't know about your spelling there, Trill.
I went back and forth on this one a couple times because it confused my dyslexia.
Yeah, I have no idea what that is.
There's 4 A's in there, 2 N's, an I. This is like a wet dream if we're playing, what's that stupid-ass game with the...
Scrabble.
No, the ding, by a vowel and...
Wheel.
Yeah, Wheel of Fortune.
Yeah.
The only thing I could remember was Vanna White, and I was like, ain't nobody playing Vanna White.
Hard to forget Vanna White. So I don't know what it is about these California teams just constantly bailing out the Rangers, but I actually do think it's insane that not only is there no retention, but like Anaheim paid for this contract. I don't know. I know it's not a lot, but why? Why did Anaheim make this deal?
Yeah, I don't really get it.
You have your big burly defense captain already.
Yeah, I mean, like, I don't know, what's his contract like? How many years does he have left?
He's got till the end of next season.
Okay, so
like maybe you're hoping you can resuscitate his value and flip him, but like has Anaheim been good at resuscitating value? No. But I mean, they are Shout out
like
to John Gibson.
Like they are. I don't really know what you're gonna get out of him because you got Gudis. Like that's you're already there.
I know. I sincerely do not understand this move for the Ducks. Like, sure, you get a guy who was a captain. You don't pay much for him, but like, why were you not throttling the Rangers here? They had to move him.
Yeah, I would, and I mean, like, the signing that came down the pipe less than an hour later tells you that. Like,
exactly. We all thought they were like waiting to deal Trouba to make that deal happen, and like they proved it by signing Shesterkin hours later. I mean, we'll get to that contract 'cause I want to stay on Trouba for a little bit here, but like, you knew they had to make it happen.
I would have been gunning for prospects and picks and what else you got, because like I'm looking at 8 million reasons for you to find something.
Yeah, even if it was just like one of those deals where it's like that the Rangers send Trouba and a second, and the Ducks send a fourth and a sixth. You know what I mean? Where it's like, even if it's not like a massive haul you're getting back, just like you should be getting the assets to let the Rangers off the hook there, you know?
Yeah.
It's kind of the same thing as San Jose with Gaudreau. Like,
I mean, like, part of this makes me think that maybe they're not done with the Ducks, and there's like leverage there, perhaps.
a little bit of back scratching.
Yeah, you know, like we can't make that move now, but if you let us sign our goalie and then, you know, backstab a couple more players.
So yeah, let's talk about that. So Trouba says on the way out basically that he was threatened into waiving his no trade clause.
That he did say that.
Called it a rite of passage at MSG.
Which, as a Devils fan, just makes me grin. Can't help it.
So he it's reported that he refused to waive for Columbus yesterday. That deal was almost done. And they basically have now forced him to waive for Anaheim. Or otherwise they were going to put him on waivers. Do you think that's bullying? Like,
I mean, like, I shouldn't laugh because, like, especially with like hockey and the place it's been and the culture issue lately, like, yes, it is. Like, if we're being frank, like, yeah, this is actually bullying in the workplace. Like, if this happened in any other industry, it would be an issue. Like in reality.
No, but in any other industry, you'd get fired if you didn't perform.
But the issue wasn't even so much that he wasn't performing. The issue
was though.
Yeah, but the issue is that they overpaid him and then felt silly.
Yeah, but like
you are.
He wasn't playing. He wasn't giving you $8 million in value at all.
Yeah, but you're still bound to that contract,
Right.
like.
Well, you're bound to the rules of the NTC, which is you can still waive someone.
Yeah, and you know what? Like, the Rangers might have just like. They might have given themselves a longer runway before Oblivion hits.
Yeah.
But they just made things really sour for a lot of GMs and a lot of teams moving forward. And, like, I know we were looking at no lockout. I don't buy it anymore.
Yeah, you think there's going to be some CBA adjustments to be made there?
I think there's going to be a lot of CBA issues coming up now, and a lot of them aren't going to be, like, reconciled. It's going to be hard to reconcile.
Because, I mean, this also kind of goes back to the Barclay Gaudreau thing, right? Same idea.
He came up today in a chat I was having. It's like, yeah, they get rid of Gaudreau and now they get rid of Trouba and they feel like they're in cap heaven. And it's like, hey, yeah, but like that's not what waivers are for. Like waivers don't exist for you to sidestep an NTC. That's not why they were created.
See, but I almost disagree with that, though, because that's why we have the difference between an NTC and an MC, right? The NTC is there because the NMC doesn't allow waivers. NTC does. So, like, in Trouba's case, like, while I agree, and there's something to be said for sure for, like, if the players feel it, it doesn't matter because it will go into the negotiations. Like, I don't disagree with you at all. But I do think that in Trouba's case, it's a little bit of, well, then you should have taken a few less bucks and got yourself the NMC.
I mean, we did talk about that with the Gaudreau situation even back then.
Yeah.
And it kind of came back to one of those things where it was like, well, NMCs were really only for guys at the end of their contracts that wanted to make sure that they weren't signing to go and play in the AHL for the rest of their career.
Yeah.
Like, a guy like Palat having an NMC makes sense because he's not going to sign a 4-year contract to go and bounce between the A and the NHL.
Right.
That's silly.
Well, and Trouba had an NMC up until this year. It switched to an NTC. And then there was that weird thing about he had gotten it as an NMC to this point because of his wife's residency in New York. That was supposed to end this year. And then it didn't end this year because of the pandemic. It got like extended. So he still didn't want to get moved. But it's kind of like, I get that. That's not really the Rangers' problem.
Yeah, it's not their problem, and that's not their fault. That's very valid.
Like, I understand why Trouba feels upset about that. I'm not trying to like discount that, but that's also like we're talking about business here.
Yeah, and I mean, like, yeah, you have to make a decision for your family, but like, I don't know, there's 26 other families tied into this decision as well, in one way or another.
Yeah,
like it's a sensitive economy with a sensitive split, and
I do think you're absolutely right though, in the sense that there's a lot more like there's player empowerment happening.
It's been power to the player. I just had a conversation with this not too long ago, with someone else in the Royals organization, and they couldn't disagree at all. They were like, it's entirely power to the player, and we're helpless at this point. We're hanging on.
Yeah, and I mean, like a big part of that is like the media has helped change things, and even like you know, a podcast like Spit and Chicklets, who are players pods, including ex-players who've given hockey fans a different perspective on hockey players' lives outside of the game,
which is awesome.
It
is.
It's fantastic. Yeah,
and the way that those guys are able to unlock the personalities hiding within that media hardened bullshit shell, like, it's great.
It doesn't really like matter if it was right or wrong on anyone's part here. What matters is if the players are feeling a way about it, then those negotiations are going to be difficult next time.
Yeah, and I mean, I think that it's becoming one of those things where, like, there's already been headlines. I'm pretty sure it was Darren Dredger who posted it first. He was saying that players around the league are taking notice of the treatment that the New York Rangers give them.
Yeah.
And you know what? Like, we've credited New York for being a place where, like, everyone wants to play in New York. You want to sign in New York. It's the big apple.
That's because of it's not because of the organization.
But I mean, you know, it's a heavily taxed state.
Yep.
Even renting a place there is expensive. That's probably another half of the half that you get to keep.
For sure.
And then to get forced out the door the second that something isn't working out?
Yeah.
You know, I'd rather go to Nashville.
Yeah, and I mean,
and
you're
not
also,
get taxed.
Or, you know, watch CEOs get shot in the street.
Wild tie-in.
What?
That was a wild tie-in.
We were talking about the New York is a big story.
She does work in healthcare.
She does.
The Rangers saw that and they were like, "Hold up,
we gotta get her. We gotta get her to Anaheim. Protect this woman." Shout out to the Rangers, just doing it for the culture. No.
Sticking to their freaking guns. There's nothing more blue shirt than just like saying "F your family" and shipping a guy completely across the country.
The literal furthest point away from where you are.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, you're making a decision for your family? That's great.
Yeah.
Pacific time zone.
Yeah. How does Disney World sound? Yahoo.
You're an hour drive away now. Enjoy.
Yeah. I just wanted to touch on this. Larry Brooks, this guy, he's always says that the Rangers are like hammering down a deal. He says that they're not done. They're targeting Brady Tkachuk, okay? So, first of all, I've already had enough of this guy because of the JT Miller stuff. Like, okay, yes, the New York Rangers are looking to get better, and so their GM is likely asking other teams about their good players. That's called hockey.
Yeah, that's called like
business.
That's called shopping the market.
Yeah, like what kind of moron GM isn't finding out what the price is on good players? So this is stupid.
Yeah, I mean,
however, if there's any organization that I could see just like completely blowing it and trading away a star player for nothing, it's the Ottawa Senators.
I mean, I so could see that, but like, I mean, nothing proves how like more full of shit Larry Brooks is than like the fact that he posted this, and then like 2 hours later, the Shesterkin deal was signed.
Yeah.
For $11 million. So like that whole like jumping off a ledge and going, oh, they traded Trouba so that they could have $8 million in cap space for Tkachuk's $8.2 million cap hit.
Nope.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Tell me more.
I thought that was funny just because I really think the Ottawa Senators would do something that dumb. But I'm really tired of that guy. And if he comes across your timeline with a rumor, just don't worry about it. Don't concern your life with it.
I will say this though.
Mm.
If the New York Rangers were able to both sign Shesterkin,
Yeah.
get rid of Goudreau, which I don't really consider getting rid of. I like Goudreau.
I do too.
But
they got rid of him.
dispose of the Trouba contract as
Yeah.
well. And then go ahead and land Kachuk while simultaneously getting rid of Zibanejad at next to no cost as well. I might have to tip my cap to him. That may be some of the finest wheeling and dealing I've seen since they discontinued, what was that show, Las Vegas Pawn?
The Pawn Stars.
Pawn Stars!
Yeah.
Yeah, you know.
Oh, well, we were there in Vegas a few months ago, and I saw that pawn shop there.
Oh,
It's still
it's
going.
still open?
Oh, yeah.
That's crazy.
Pawning away.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Been through Vegas, that makes sense.
So, yeah. So, Igor Shesterkin, as we mentioned, does get the deal done. 8 years, $11.5 million per season. And my first thought, Jonesy broke this to me today while I was at work. And the first thing I said to him was, I actually thought it was going to be more.
I did too. I have to say, I really didn't think it would like come down the pipe this quick either, unless they start threatening him as well.
Would you be shocked?
Remember, no Russian.
New York, baby.
Like, yeah, I good for them, but also just like I hate the way that this is going to shape the future.
I don't think it's that crazy.
I think it's I'm very like pro player,
Yeah.
but I know that there's bigger things that should be an issue of contingency moving forward, and I also know that this is going to get way too much attention.
How do you mean?
Because if even one more team does something like this,
Like what?
and like threatening a player with waivers who's
I
they've
see.
put themselves on the line for at $8 million.
Yeah.
Like, and it's also a family issue.
Yeah.
You know, I this is gonna be such a bigger issue of contingency than like anyone else really thinks it is. And I
Yeah.
know I sound dramatic right now, but like there's bigger fish to fry, and this fish is gonna get over frickin' cooked.
I mean, like, maybe, but my thought on this is, like, that didn't sound too, like, abnormal to me. Like, I have a feeling, I just don't know. We just don't know enough about these things, but, like, we see players waive no trade clauses to get moved. Fairly regularly.
I mean, yeah.
How many of them were told, hey, man, we're going to trade you here, and if you're not going to waive it, we're just going to cut you and they're going to pick you up. I feel like I hear what you're saying, but like if we don't know anything else about how that's happened in the past, like I don't know that there's a tipping point now
Yeah.
besides it being public.
I mean, that could also just be the thing, though, is that players also might not have heard about it.
Players talk
I mean, yeah, but
like a lot.
Yeah.
But like this is a big one, right? It is a very public one.
And it's just the fact that like the whole family's tied into
family
it, and like
issue,
you're
yeah.
sending him literally to the farthest point of like
Yeah.
the
yeah.
opposite end of America.
Yeah, and already there was like the disgruntledness between not just Goudreau, but like the players in the league that are friends with Goudreau weren't happy about it either.
And I mean, naturally. And like also it's just the way that like I don't know what New York's problem is, but they just don't have the ability to just shut the fuck up and do their work.
Yeah.
Like it always leaks. And
Yeah,
it
it does.
always makes it so messy.
And it's weird because it feels like such a not like original six team thing to do. Like it just seems like not the way an organization like the Rangers should operate, but they do.
And it makes sense considering they're like
Dirty Rangers.
yeah, they're just like the New York frickin' Rangers, like
not much more you can say than that.
they live up to it. Like it's
Yeah.
just like, grimy business.
So the Shesterkin contract.
Yes,
What do you think about that?
I think it's too much and for too long.
Do you?
No, I think it's a smart signing. In all honesty, like, actually, no, I don't.
No. I know we talked a lot about like what the price is that's smart or not before, but
Yeah, like,
so when you look at the breakdown of the percentage of the cap, right? It's less percentage of the cap than Price's 10.5 was when he signed it, right? That was 13.21% of the Habs cap.
that's crazy.
This is 12.43% of the Rangers cap, assuming a $92.5 million salary cap next year. Ottinger and Swayman. Ottinger got 8.92% of the cap. Swayman got 9.38. So this is going to be it's a touch higher than Bobrovsky's 12.27% of the cap.
Right.
And higher than Vasilevsky's 11.6% of the cap.
Okay, like, I'll start by saying it's too much for my taste, but also with a talent of this caliber, it doesn't really matter. Like, you just sign on the dotted line.
Yeah. Like, that's the thing, is like he's like probably the closest goalie we've had to like Vasilevsky since since him. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Oh, 100%. Or even like the Bobrovsky hype, maybe, when he made that signing, because like it was all
like
the
the
media
Bobrovsky
would
hype
like
for sure.
the media would not shut the hell up about him when it was.
Well, and wasn't he
signing
coming
time.
off of Vezina too?
Yeah.
Yeah. I
So-
mean, what do you want?
Just like the same environment, right? Like same noise, same.
And I mean, Vasilevsky was an RFA extension. That's a different world than a UFA extension. His probably would have been higher if he was an upcoming UFA.
Yeah. I mean,
Jay, do you got any thoughts on it?
Honestly, no. I think it's a fine.
Valid.
It's like I agree with you. It's honestly not as much as I expected.
Yeah.
I think it's fine.
I think I'm in agreement with that. Like, I think it's just like it's not an overpay or an underpay. It's that's the price. That's a price that makes sense for probably the best goalie on earth right now.
yeah, and I mean, like, the other thing to factor in is that like you're saving what we can basically call as a mill. We were assuming it would probably get to 12 or 12.5.
Yeah.
But with the way that the cap is projected to go up, and it could go up even higher because escrow's like damn near almost clear now,
Yeah.
and they're talking about fully paying it off. Like, if that happens, you're not talking about 12% of the cap or
No.
anything close to that anymore.
There's a
like,
world-
we're talking like multiple millions.
Yeah,
Like,
there's a world where like in 3 years this is an 11% contract,
yeah,
and then you're laughing.
or less. Like, if the cap's projected to go up another 3 and then it goes up another 6 after that in the next 3 to 4 years.
Yeah.
That's the whole contract.
Yeah, the landscape is going to look very different.
Or damn
sure.
near the whole contract. I mean, like,
I agree.
Yeah, it's just fine. I mean, it could look really good, and we're gonna have to wait for it to pan out.
For sure. Goalie contracts, that's always the thing, right? I mean, Bobrovsky's contract, how terrible did it look for so long, and how fine does it look now? You got to wait and see how it all goes.
Yeah, and I mean that was also like my kind of like thing with Vasilevsky. I was like, damn, an 8 by 9.5 on an RFA is like kind of crazy.
Yeah.
Like, you got to be kicking yourself a little bit for the money left on the table potentially by signing that long at that rate.
Right.
But also, like, you're a goalie playing a really active position.
Yeah. Yeah.
We've seen Vasi have hip issues already, which
Yeah.
is so common house for this style of goaltending in this
Absolutely.
era. There's no
Yeah.
telling you get 8 years out of it.
Exactly. I think if you're a goalie, you know, the trend seems to be moving towards shorter contracts for like high caliber forwards, because you can maximize your gains by, you know, re-upping that dollar value every few years. But if you're a goalie, take as long as you can get, you know, because who knows what your game's going to look like in 2 seasons.
Yeah, you never know when it's like gonna hit the rails, and it can be something as simple as like a bad crash into the net.
Yeah,
Like
totally.
we saw it with Crawford.
It can be something as simple as a bad move off the post.
Yeah.
You know, like just it's tough out there for the tendies. Make your money.
Yeah, get your bag and make sure
Mhm.
that your future's secure. You know what? Like I'd sooner take 64 guaranteed than, you know, potentially getting 25 and then being hurt forever.
100%.
Whatever.
Speaking of hurt forever goalies, guess who returned to the bench tonight?
Do-do-do-do.
Thatcher the Snatcher Demko.
Don't ever call him that again. Don't talk to me. Don't call me.
Yeah.
Like, as you said that,
Yeah.
I see this on my phone.
Yeah, we're putting that in the video. That's hilarious. So Demko returns to the bench tonight as the backup for the Canucks. Doesn't actually play, but really exciting to see.
Team mascot.
Team mascot, indeed. I mean, I think Jonesy and I were talking about this a little bit, but I'm very happy that Kevin Lankinen has been so good.
Yes.
Shout out to the guy who made Team Finland. Rock and roll for him. He's been phenomenal. And this also means that they can just ease Demko back into the process here, right? They don't have to play him the remaining 40 of 60 games here. They can just, if they want to run a tandem, they can, or if they want to just keep letting him start and have Demko literally back up until he's ready to get back on the horse. He's played 4 games in the calendar year of 2024. It's going to take him a bit. Either way, seeing him in his full gear, ready to get on the ice if something happened to Lankinen, awesome to see.
Yeah, great to see. And, you know, it is great that Lankinen's been so good because, like, especially in the situation that Demmer's in, you want to make sure that you can extend that runway as long as possible so that he's making that decision for himself when he's ready. It's not like, well, are you ready, champ? Because, like, we kind of need you to be, you know?
Exactly. There's not organizational pressure to get back into the lineup right now.
Team's humming.
Yeah.
Backup goalies coasting.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, that's the ultimate situation you could ask for.
It really could work out well for Vancouver. If Lankinen stays good and they can run a tandem of Demko Lankinen, that could be lethal.
Yeah. And I mean, like, hey, I remember growing up and I watched Broder, and this is not a knock on Kevin Weeks.
Okay.
Shout out Kevin Weeks.
Shout out to Kevin Weeks.
But Kevin Weeks is not a Martin frickin' Broder.
No.
And some of those Devils teams coming down the stretch when he got hurt,
Yeah.
they needed a Martin frickin' Broder.
Yeah.
Kevin Weeks was not saving that goddamn ship, and it got scary.
You're not that guy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It got scary in the
I
game
believe
70s.
I
When you're in the
believe
70s
that.
marks, floating Kevin Weeks out there going, holy Christ, no! Just get to a shootout, please.
Yeah.
You know, like,
Shout out to Martin.
yeah, that's the boat you often find yourself in, right?
Facts.
So,
Yeah.
and
It's very nice.
then you rush him back, and then it's a quick first round exit. Why? Because he's playing hurt.
You don't want that.
No.
Side note on Thatcher Demko's return tonight. They were playing the Columbus Blue Jackets at home. To our West Coasters out there, you may know that Taylor Swift is in town doing 3 days at BC Place in Vancouver. And there were no hotels. None at all. So the Columbus Blue Jackets cannot get their night's rest in Vancouver. They're not going to the Roxy tonight. They had to fly all the way to Winnipeg right after the game. Woof.
God damn. Of all
Couldn't get
places,
them
it's
hotel.
Winnipeg too. Like you don't
Yeah,
even get to
yeah,
like
yeah.
fly somewhere cool.
Yeah, it's not like a short little skip and a hop over to Seattle or anything like that. Like, or even like, if you're going to frickin' we're going to LA now, and
Yeah,
something
like
that.
like I was gonna say, I'd sooner take like the 3 or 4 hour flight to like Vegas, Nashville, LA,
Literally any city that's not Winnipeg.
anywhere else where I could do something and it's not -20 already, like
Yeah.
snowing sideways. That sounds horrible.
Yeah.
Yeah, not great.
Not great.
But
No.
hey, shout out the Swifties. Pump our economy.
Facts. They have been.
Could use it.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, it's crazy out there this weekend. There's no hotels, there's no ferries, it's insane. Insane.
It makes me so happy that I'm so busy all the time in my little sphere of hockey.
Yeah.
Like I just operate in this tiny little bubble.
Right.
And shit like that doesn't affect me at all.
Fair enough. Very fair. Hockey live. Absolutely nothing beats it. The thrill of a game in person, crashing against the boards, pucks off the glass. It's phenomenal. And if you're looking to catch a game, check out Game Time for tickets. The Game Time app has you covered for everything you need with tickets. They've got super deals, they've got seat views before you buy, lowest price guarantees, event cancellation protection, job loss protection, and even more. And that's not even including Game Time picks, a curation system that makes it even easier to save more on sports, concerts, comedy, theater, and more. Kendrick Lamar and SZA just announced their tour. I was looking for tickets, and Game Time was perfect for that. They had views from the seats, all in pricing, tons of tickets available. It made buying tickets incredibly easy. So take the guesswork out of buying tickets with Game Time picks. Download the Game Time app, create an account, and use code THPN for $20 off your first purchase. Terms apply. Again, create an account and redeem code THPN for $20 off. Download Game Time today. What time is it? Game Time. The 24-25 NHL season still has that new car smell, and the action is heating up at DraftKings Sportsbook, an official sports betting partner of the NHL. It's super easy for first-timers to get started at DraftKings Sportsbook. Try betting on something simple like picking a team to win. And if you're new to DraftKings, listen up. New customers bet $5 to get $150 in bonus bets if your bet wins. Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app now and use code THPN. That's code THPN for new customers to get $150 in bonus bets if your bet wins when you bet just $5. Only on DraftKings. The crown is yours.
Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. In New York, call 877-8-HOPE-NY or text HOPE-NY 467-369. In Connecticut, help is available for problem gambling. Call 888-789-7777 or visit ccpg.org. Please play responsibly. On behalf of Boot Hill Casino and Resort in Kansas, 21 and over. Age and eligibility varies by jurisdiction. Void in New Hampshire, Oregon, and Ontario. Bonus bets expire 168 hours after issuance. For additional terms and responsible gaming resources, see dkng.co/ftball. NFL Plus Premium offer available only to new and former NFL Plus subscribers. Additional NFL Plus Premium terms at nfl.com/terms.
The Four Nations face-off. We have everything confirmed now. The rosters are in.
I'm so excited for this, but I'm
Me
also
too.
so incredibly pissed off.
Yeah. Why?
Because, like, what are we doing here?
Amen. We're talking about Canada, correct?
Yeah, and even, like, yeah. Let's start with Canada, because, like,
Yeah.
I
we don't
feel
have,
like the Finns kind of got it, you know? Like, they brought on the guys who are fun, they're fast,
Mhm.
and, like, who are consistently performing.
Yeah.
Like, so many more of these teams felt like they were decisions made based off of the right now. And it's like Connor Bedard's had a slow 20 games to start his season. That's not a frickin' reason to count him out of the Team Canada roster. Are you out of your frickin' melon? Yeah, he has some of the
So-
worst face-off percentages in the league. That's why you move him to the wing.
put him on the wing. Amen.
You got Sidney Crosby there. I don't want to see a half-crippled Mark Stone play next to Sidney Crosby. Suck a sideways like a harmonica. This is boring ass Olympic hockey.
Yeah, and that's my big thing is this isn't the Olympics.
Like, yeah, and what the hell are we like? Why?
And if anything, you should be treating this as a like dry run for the Olympics, and that's being as nice as I can. Like, don't treat this like the Olympics. The goal shouldn't be win at all costs, take down Brady and Matthew Tkachuk. It should be make this team fun, make this event fun and exciting, and give these young Canadians, young elite Canadians, a chance to like mesh with these guys before the Olympics. Because it's not just Connor Bedard. You know who else should be on this team? Macklin Celebrini.
Yeah.
He has been so good.
There's no reason. And even then, like when I'm saying, like, 20 games is not a reason to discount someone, it's also a great reason to count someone in when we're talking about a generational talent.
Yeah.
Like Macklin Celebrini.
Macklin and Bedard are such freaks of nature. There's been so much discourse back and forth about who's better. Who cares in this moment? These guys are literal freaks. And you will want them on your Olympic team for the next, 20 years, likely. So why not give them a chance to, do something here? And first of all, drive the ratings through the roof, having them play on a line together? Are you joking?
I was just about to say before you said ratings, I would be beyond pissed if I was Bettman right now.
Yup.
Like we're talking
Anthony Cirelli?
I lost my goddamn mind. I pulled up to the Royals office and opened my phone to people in my group chat justifying Cirelli being on this team.
I know.
And it's like, what are we doing?
And see, if it was the Olympics,
I'd get it.
exactly.
If it was the Olympics right frickin' now, yeah, okay, Bedard's too iffy and too new. I get it. You have your qualms.
Yeah.
I get it.
Yeah.
But
It's not.
this is an NHL event to boost global interest around the game, and you're gonna wheel out Anthony frickin' Cirelli, who has yet to eclipse 50 points in a season. That's so goddamn sideways and disrespectful. What do you mean? Sam frickin'
exactly.
Bennett?
Like,
What's he gonna do?
put Connor McDavid
How many penalties do you expect to take that you're gonna wheel Sam Bennett out there to kill it? Why?
See, that's I despise that too. Whenever it's well, who's gonna kill penalties?
Who cares?
Who cares?
Who freaking cares?
Thank you. Amen.
If you suck at killing the penalty, that just means we get more 5-on-5 sooner. The game should be 7-7 anyways, or 6-7. It should feel like an all-star game. I'm not expecting it to be tight Olympic hockey with crazy structure.
I don't want to go through this entire lineup because it mostly does look like the roster we looked at in our projections 3 weeks ago.
And it makes sense. And I mean,
A lot of it just does kind of make sense.
Yeah. I mean, I'll take Sam Reinhart. I'll buy that. You know what?
Sure.
50 goal season,
Yeah.
on pace for another 100-point season. I'll leave it alone. That's great. Good for him. He turned a corner. Lights out. But
yeah,
Sam Bennett?
It's just too much of guys that are just really good right now, and it's I so understand that for an Olympic team, like we said, but for an NHL event here, because the ratings of the All-Star game were so horrific, just make this awesome. And watching Sam Bennett, Anthony Cirelli, and Travis Konechny will not be anywhere near as awesome as watching Connor Bedard and Macklin Celebrini play on a line together would be. At all.
With Travis Konechny.
With Travis Konechny.
Or Seth Jarvis. Seth Jarvis is
I love Seth
frickin'
Jarvis.
electric.
I love Seth Jarvis, yeah.
I so love Seth Jarvis.
No, this is I was actually way more upset about this than I thought I was going to be.
I also heard something kind of interesting.
What's that?
A lot of players were called to be told they weren't making the team. Player who wasn't called. Nick Suzuki. Nick Suzuki also turned down the offer to play for Team Canada in the IIHF tournament.
Oh.
So we're starting to see some sour feelings perhaps guiding the choices made by Team Canada representatives.
I mean that's.
And I mean, name something more ignorantly Canadian.
I was gonna say that. Like, find me something less shocking than that.
And exactly, I read it and I was like, great, we're just doomed for another
That's
15
Canada.
years of frickin' failure. Like, this is excellent. Like, I love
That's-
that you guys can't, like, put your egos aside even sitting at a table.
Hockey Canada in a nutshell, right there for sure.
Like, that's insane. You know that, like, you know, like, I get you have to protect the logo, but you're not bigger than the logo.
No.
No one is.
No.
And it's not a slight on you or the logo just because someone didn't want to play for you once.
Yeah.
I wouldn't have wanted to either with all the news and headlines going around.
Mm-hmm.
Leave me out of anything that said double IHF and Team Canada last year.
Amen.
I hated that media cycle.
Yeah.
It made me embarrassed as a Canadian.
Absolutely. I think it made all of us embarrassed, and it should,
Absolutely.
of course.
So, like, whatever.
Are you still feeling third for Canada?
I'm still feeling third, especially now. Like, what the hell are we doing? Brad Marchand on the second line? What the Like, I love Brad Marchand. Brad Marchand is a fourth line guy. He should be where Sam Bennett is. And Seth Jarvis should be where he is. That's like
Brad
and
Marchand
Sam Bennett shouldn't be here.
in 2024, like Brad Marchand, Sidney Crosby, Mark Stone together is just like such a tragically 2024 Canada top six line. You
And
know?
This is the line that I would expect from someone who hasn't like watched hockey in a few years. Like they stepped away
yeah.
and they were like, "Oh
It'll be
yeah,
good
yeah.
though.
It will be good, but like I mean, it'll be old."
Yeah.
And
But it'll be old. Yeah. Okay, yeah. Okay, let's go to the Americans. There's enough time on this stupid Canada team. Americans, not a lot of drama.
no, there's a lot less. I mean, like you look at this list and it's like a lot of this, like you're just like, yeah, okay, yeah, this checks out.
Yeah, I mean, if we get Jake Gensel, Austin Matthews, and Jack Hughes together, that's going to be the most fun line to watch in this entire tournament.
Also, why the hell was
you
Colton
kidding me?
Parayko on Team Canada's defensive?
Oh my God, I know. That's the other. I've been an Evan Bouchard hater. I have been.
Let's talk about it. Let's go back to Canada. Let's circle back.
I
'Cause
know.
God damn
I
it.
know. I have confirmed been an Evan Bouchard hater. It's not because I hate Evan Bouchard. It's because I hated fans that compared him to Quinn Hughes. With
Yeah.
that said, Evan Bouchard is a great defenseman, has a ton of chemistry with Connor McDavid, and he winds up those beautiful clappers from the blue line.
Do I hate saying the phrase Bouchard bomb? Yes.
Yes.
Is it true?
Yes.
Yes. It is a frickin' bomb.
And so watching the two of them do that for Team Canada would have been awesome.
Yeah. And I mean, like, arguably, like, I'm very sick and tired of hearing Edmonton fans say that he is one of the best defensemen to grace the face of the earth. It's not true.
Me too.
But, like, I stand by my take that I shared with you guys 2 days ago in the group chat, which is that he is, like, indiscernibly a very, very top-tier defenseman
Yeah.
in this league
Yeah,
that
absolutely.
deserves to be on par with Dougie Hamilton and
Sure.
Josh Morrissey, for example.
Sure.
Like, is he a Cale Makar? Frick no.
No.
But there's a lot of very good defensemen that I could hold him, that he could be held to like a candle. It'd be fine.
I'd love to see him there instead of Colton Parayko.
Yes.
What are
And
we
he
doing?
should be there.
What are we
That's a crazy snub.
What are we doing?
Yeah, like what are we doing here? Like this is insane. Travis Sanheim?
I know.
And like, yeah, I get it. I haven't watched a Flyers game in a while.
Yeah. It's also fair.
But like, come on, dog.
Yeah. He's been good.
Yeah, like I saw like people were criticizing this on Twitter and Blue Sky and everywhere, and all the Flyers fans came out of the woodwork like little roaches going, "It's the eye test. You have to do the eye test. Check the eye test." Guys, we're not watching your team.
Yeah.
And we're not justifying anyone besides Konechny playing on this team either.
No.
Okay, next.
Okay, next. That's really the big one, honestly. The Americans look good.
Yeah.
Not a lot of huge snubs for me. The defense looks good.
Checks out.
It's good. They're going to be super exciting to watch. Dub.
Dub. Easy dub.
Sweden.
They
looks
get it.
Pretty sick as well. I'm
And-
not gonna lie.
And they get it. You know,
Yes,
it's one of those
Leo
things where,
Carlson,
like, they
put him on the
freaking
team.
get it. Except, yeah, I see you, Jay. Hey, but you know what?
Goose. The goose.
Look, I'll
Goose
put,
is loose.
I'll
Goose
say it
is
this
loose.
way.
In your Nashville Predators hoodie today.
Yeah, you know what? It's actually my You Matter hoodie, so don't put that on. Don't put Goose on the You Matter hoodie, because you do not matter, my friend.
Oh.
Not in the sense we're talking about right now. Love you as like a personality. Love you as a person. Please don't do anything bad. But you don't matter in the sense of the Frozen Four.
Yeah. But you're right. They get it. They understood the assignment.
Yeah, I mean, this is a great mix of still very, very elite elderly talent. We're hitting the
Yeah.
statesman territory with
Very
like, you know,
elite.
the
Talent and Eric Carlson.
and Hedman. You know, he hasn't exactly looked freaking fantastic, but
No,
it's Victor Hedman. He's always gonna be above good, even when he's bad.
Yeah.
Like, man, you know.
There was a post from JFresh about the like top speeds of defensemen so far this year, and Eric Carlson was in the top 5. Jay,
I saw that.
do you know who else was in the top 5?
I don't remember.
Tyler Myers.
Oh, I remember that now. But wasn't that
So
just
wild.
like wasn't that just
Top
like
speed.
a top speed?
Yeah,
It's not like a consistent.
yeah, yeah.
Okay.
It's not like
Definitely not consistent.
I will tell you this, and you can mark my words right now.
Mm.
Gustav Nyquist will be a healthy scratch for Leo Carlson for like 80% of this tournament.
I'd like to see it. I don't know if I buy it, but I'd like to see it.
Also, this team is sick. This team is fun.
What's that, Jay?
What's so funny?
I'm just having a laugh over here.
Yeah, you are.
I'm honestly dying for like a Gustav Nyquist like game tying goal.
You'd be screaming at my TV.
Against the Americans, that would be.
Wins them the whole tournament.
Could you imagine a Gustav Nyquist golden goal?
That's when I know the timeline's truly been
Yeah,
broken.
yeah.
Like there's no need to like. My God. Shout
And
out
then-
Jesper Bratt, by the way.
Hey, shout out to Jesper Bratt. Amen.
There's like a lot of unsung heroes on this like Finnish team.
Swedish.
Thank you.
That's what I
My
love
brain
about
is
Sweden.
freaking cooked this week.
Yeah, it's been a long week.
I've
but
been misspeaking like crazy.
That's
I'm, like,
what
developing speech impediments.
that's what I love about Sweden though, is that they tend to be that team. You know, Finland as well.
Yeah.
A lot of unsung heroes. Jeez Louise.
We're both
are
struggling
we
through this.
doing
We're
over here?
sloshing through it. I don't
All
even
right.
drink anymore.
Yeah, Finland, their pool's a lot smaller, but they nail all the picks, right? They get the big dogs, Barkov, Hintz. Patrick Laine makes the team, which I was kind of like, but obviously like smaller pool, and he's been lighting it up in Montreal since he got back. So
Doesn't seem like his knee's bothering him.
yeah, good for him. Rantanen, of course, all that. It's they're gonna be a tough team to play against, as Finland always is. This tournament's gonna be a lot of fun. And yeah, my boy Kevin Lankinen. Boom, boom, boom. Gun sounds.
Yeah, and I mean, like, yeah, they get it. This is another team that just gets it, you know?
Yeah.
Ukko-Pekka Luukkonen.
Yes.
That's my boy.
Saros and
And
like
shout out Olimata. Am I right or am I right? That's like the all I want for Christmas of hockey players. Here he comes. Inescapable as all hell. December hits and Olimata's certain.
Oh, goodness.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I love me some Lehkonen, love me some Lindell. Honestly, this is like a sleepy defensive team. Like,
Absolutely it is.
like that's a shutdown team if they're on their.
That's what I mean. Like this team's going to be so hard to play against.
Yeah, Hakanpää, Heiskanen, Lindell. Like, Jay go down a little bit there. Well, what else we got? We can get off Mott. Mikola, Ristolainen, Valimaki.
No. But yeah.
The Utah Hockey Club selects I could do without, but hey, you know what? That's pretty sick. That's a fun team.
Yeah, that's gonna be a lot of fun. I'm really looking forward to it. It feels crazy that it's still like a couple months out, but early February is gonna come quick.
Yeah, I'm mad excited for this event, but I'm so excited just because like it's gonna be another like moment. It's gonna be another Canadian moment. It'll be like the "Where were you when?"
I hope so.
You remember when Canada didn't make the medal round?
With Sidney Crosby, Connor McDavid, and Nathan McKinnon all on the same team for the only time ever.
Yeah. You remember that? That was
I
a
hope,
where,
I
where
hope
were
that's
you
not how
moment.
that conversation goes. But yeah.
Y'all probably forgot about that one, but I digress.
Okay, you're hurting my soul here a little bit. We're gonna move off it now.
It's not my fault that I have high standards and everyone continuously flies below them.
No.
I'm just saying, like, you know, especially if we're going to demand, like, a level of execution, greatness, determination, and, you know, that we always, like, expect out of our players. Like, that comes from head office down.
Yeah.
Just, like, the culture has to be, like, unmistakably solid, and you can't be fumbling your paperwork and then scolding someone for fumbling a pass. I'm not having it.
Amen. Moving on to Johnny Gaudreau. We're gonna touch on Johnny again.
As we will for like
Yeah.
many times this season.
Columbus plays Calgary in Calgary the other night, and it was quite the moment they had out there at the Saddle Dome. They had the family there. They did a whole what do you call it?
Ceremonial puck drop.
They did a whole ceremony for him with
Did
the
you see
ceremonial
the-
puck drop.
Did you see the puck for that too?
I did.
Hand painted from a fan. It was taken
Fantastic.
off the memorial.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
And then they give him the first star of the game. One last time. His family all there. It really just a beautiful moment and heartbreaking stuff.
Yeah, and honestly, like what a just class act.
Class acting.
Giving him the first star was just like so dope.
Yeah.
Seeing his mom be able to experience and hear that one more time, you know, like that's gonna be with them forever.
Yeah.
And
yeah,
that's
100%.
That's really special. That's what hockey is all about. Is like, bringing people together like that and celebrating community.
Well said. Moving out of that.
Marty St. Louis.
Yeah.
For the first time since taking his spot behind the Habs bench,
Mm-hmm.
that would be 225 games to be exact.
It's a couple
Has a healthy lineup.
for the first time.
First time ever.
Wow.
That's crazy.
All right. Cool.
With a fully healthy roster.
That's insane that they've had that many injury troubles. Good grief.
Yeah, you know, I'd be starting to look into the training personnel here or something. Like,
Absolutely.
why
What's
are
going on
we
here?
dropping the ball so bad? Like, there's,
Yeah.
I get that there's bad luck, but our luck cannot be this bad.
Next up, the top CHL players allegedly being targeted by NCAA teams to exit their CHL contracts before the expiration of it. Names like Gavin McKenna, Michael Misa, and Martone have all been reportedly targeted already. Yeah, how do you feel about that?
I hate it.
Yeah,
I honestly I get it.
of
I
course.
do. But it just I really hate it because the league that was so anti CHL and was so antitrust and manipulative in the marketplace is now continuing to follow through with more antitrust behavior and encouraging 18-year-olds to basically violate their contracts.
Yeah.
the CHL said it's cool for you guys to go and play in the NCAA once you finish fulfilling your contract.
Yes.
Like, yeah, not every contract is like a 4-year contract, and some teams may be willing to pardon you from your obligations to the team if it's better for your future. We're like
Yeah.
not here to handcuff kids into
course.
contracts, and we're
Of
not going to
course.
sue 18-year-olds, but
No.
like at the same time, you know?
Yeah.
Like it's hard to imagine that like you could see like the London Knights suing, you know, Landon Sim if he
Yeah.
dipped out today and went to Michigan.
For sure.
But like, you know what? At a certain point, it's like there's got to be some kind of like
Well, and
repercussions.
I
No,
can tell you after talking to some parents and some people who are in the NCAA, they're worried, right? There's a lot of people who either their kids are in college or they're in college down in the States that you know probably will never play a game in the NHL. They'll probably never make a career out of hockey. But what do they have is hockey paying for their school, right? That's what they get to hang their hat on, basically, is getting a full ride through university by playing hockey.
yes, yeah,
And a lot of those kids are very scared that there's going to be a huge influx of CHL players coming in to take those scholarships away from them next year.
and not just CHL players. Like, there's already been like I think the number that I heard was like 50 BCHL prospects looking to move, like high-end prospects that were like staying out of the CHL just to keep their eligibility
Open.
cleared.
Yeah.
But now they don't have to.
Yeah,
And they
don't
can
have to
just
worry
go
about
there
it.
if they want. Like,
Yeah. It's
Like-
it's tough to see.
yeah, and
Yeah.
it's I just really don't like the way that it's going to shape things moving forward, because I think that especially in these younger years and like developmental years, like when you're operating in minor hockey, it's about like developing them as people too. Like, it's not just hockey. Like, it's not like when we talk about the NHL. And that's partially why I really enjoy working in minor hockey, is because like you have a hand in shaping these young men and who they're going to be
Sure.
for the rest of their life.
Sure.
You know, and we teach them about obligations and respect and
Responsibility.
and keeping your word and
course.
honoring your commitments
Yeah.
and giving 100% every day you show up.
all
and
types of stuff. Yeah.
like things that matter in life, and
Absolutely.
everyone can agree carry forward in every situation.
Yeah.
Every facet of life. And it just concerns me when like NCAA schools that have $1 billion to their athletic department alone start flashing that money and the allure of what they can provide for the forsaking of previously upheld morals,
Yeah. Well put.
especially in a sport that has such a culture issue already.
Yes. Yeah.
You
Ding,
know?
Ding, ding, ding.
And I'd be really curious to hear what kind of programs or visits to the team from professionals are being done in an NCAA level.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
Because I'd be concerned if I'm even a parent that's sending a kid from like a CHL program hypothetically to an NCAA program.
Mm-hmm.
What changes? What are you
Yeah.
providing? Sure,
Yeah.
the equipment's high end and the trainers are high end, but like, is my kid safe?
Yeah.
You know?
100%.
These are all things that we've yet to see, and they're kind of, it's not out of pocket necessarily to bring up those things and question them when this is what's
When it's like a shady tactic to start.
when this is when we're using shady tactics to foreshadow the storm incoming. It's like
Yeah.
shady tactics followed by shady tactics just lead to more shady tactics.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, 100%.
And
And
shady.
you can't blame people for a lack of trust in that.
Yeah, exactly. And
Yeah.
from a bunch of different levels. So I'm really quite sour about this.
Yeah.
Especially because, like, that shady tactic goes back to New York type stuff where it's like, well, if you don't hop over now, like, we're not waiting for you to fulfill your contract. Like, we don't want you when you're 20, we want you when you're 18, and that's just that. So, like,
Exactly.
do it or don't.
Exactly.
Now you've, like, handcuffed this kid into the toughest decision of his life.
Yeah.
Does he uphold the morals and values that have been instilled with him since he was 8 or
Sure.
6 or 4 when he got into the programs, when he first stepped foot on the ice?
Yep.
Or do you go for the bag and risk it all?
Yeah. It's really tough because at the end of the day, it's a good thing, right? Like the fact that you're able to get an education off playing hockey is really something fantastic.
It is. And I mean, for the players that are like in the BCHL, for example,
Yeah.
who like, they don't necessarily have an obligation outside of a year or 2.
Yeah.
Or even beyond that. If they've been pardoned, yeah, good for you. Go.
Yeah,
Like,
of course.
Go to a better situation with more allure, with better equipment, better training, and an opportunity to get a really, really good education.
But it's things like this story that taints the entire thing.
Exactly.
And that's tough.
Exactly, because I was really excited about this
Yeah,
whole
we
thing
talked
at
about it, yeah.
first. And then all of the other stuff started to come out, and I was like, right, this
Yeah.
is the NCAA we're talking about.
Exactly.
This is not just youth sports. This is adults controlling youth,
Youth
sports,
Facts.
which gets murky quickly, as we've seen before.
You're absolutely on the money with that. And to wrap up this episode here, we got a couple injury things that are tough.
Yeah, and hey, you know what?
Yeah.
I'll eat my words a little bit
Okay.
because I was extremely critical of the camp selections for the U20
Right.
double IHF.
Yeah.
And part of that's starting to make a little sense now.
Yeah. I mean, Tija Ginla out for the season following hip surgery. So
Makes
That's-
sense.
yeah, it makes sense that he's not there now.
Yeah,
Hunter Brunicki also not medically cleared to play. So there goes him as well.
Yeah, and I mean, he was like technically like on the fence, so they did have him invited to the camp, which was why Perek was left
Yeah.
off of the rosters. But now that Brunicki's not medically cleared and that's been fully confirmed, he's not making that camp.
Tough.
Yeah, that blows.
I am actually excited to watch Perek play though. So
I was
Cool.
very excited for that. Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm really hyped that he gets to play.
Yeah.
Or at least try to play, make the camp at least. That's going to be great for his development.
yeah, absolutely.
But yeah, damn.
Yeah.
You hate to see it.
You do hate to see it. 100%.
So, speedy recoveries to the boys.
Indeed. And that's about it for us this week. Thank you everyone for tuning in once again. This has been the special number 87 episode, the Sidney Crosby episode of Stick Talk Hockey.
In commemoration.
Yeah.
Really quick. Favorite Sidney Crosby moment. We're starting with the Pens fan across the room.
Yeah, we'll start with Jay.
It's well, honestly, it's not like a. I don't know when you say that, it's not an individual Crosby moment, but it's easily winning the cup in 2016.
That
Valid.
The first of the back-to-back.
Yeah,
Yeah,
never forget that.
He had a glow.
he
That's
did have
fair.
a glow about him.
On my boy Kaz's birthday.
And those
On
jerseys,
Kaz's
shout out.
birthday. That's right. Yeah, June 12th.
those jerseys too were like,
Pristine.
yeah.
That one,
timepiece.
I wasn't down with the Penguins.
Yeah,
Just be very real. Well, I wasn't. The Nashville game, like those 2 runs, count me out. Count me out. It's all good.
That's fine. I usually am a big like juggernaut hater,
Yeah.
but I always liked the Penguins when they were going through that dynasty phase.
Yeah.
Chicago, not so much. LA, not so much.
That Nashville game where they went 37 minutes without a shot and still won the game, I was like, this Penguins team needs to take a hike, dude.
Hey, you know what? That's the definition of playing shutdown.
Yeah.
That's
something
the
like that.
Oli Mata effect, goddammit.
mm-hmm.
He instilled that
whatever.
culture in the room.
All right. My favorite Sidney Crosby moment, hands down, no questions about it. It's the golden goal, of course.
Up with it again. He's on the ice with Iginla. Iginla. Crosby! Sidney Crosby! The golden goal! And Canada has once in a lifetime Olympic gold!
I knew you were gonna take it. That's fantastic.
In
And
Vancouver. Luongo in net. From another Canadian legend, Jerome Iginla. I mean, a Canadian heritage moment. I don't know that Canada as a country has had a moment like that since then.
That's so valid. Honestly.
Yeah.
I got two that are tied, but I'll take Goon Crosby as my favorite.
Goonby.
You remember when he was being targeted for like half the game? I forget who
Yeah.
it was, but they were just following him around, always trying to take the shot.
Hacking. Yeah.
And at the face-off dot, the puck drops, and he just grabs Buddy by the back of his face and slams his head into the ice like 6 times. Like he just jumped on him and started ragdolling
Jay,
him.
you remember that?
It wasn't even a hockey fight. He just started smashing on the dude.
Here we go. Sidney Crosby off the face. Crosby's dropping the gloves. McLean. Yeah, McLean. He's throwing uppercuts. He's got the jersey over. Sidney Crosby. Oh my! What a fight by Crosby.
Yeah, he never even let him get his gloves off. He just jerseyed him and started whipping him around. Throws his face in the ice like 3 times while he's jerseyed. He's just like, yeah, eat some of that. Eat it.
In a 4-1 game in the second, rocking the baby blue Penguins jerseys. Yeah, okay, that's a hard Sid moment right there.
Yeah, like young Sid got the blues. Like, what a moment.
What a moment.
Just
Indeed.
And it was like right off the draw too. Like he's just chirping, hunting them, and you just like, you know what? Jersey
It's over. Yeah.
Taste the ice.
Oh, that's
Say
beautiful.
uncle. Say uncle.
Yeah. That's beautiful.
Oh, Christ.
Oh, goodness. Well, commemorative indeed, as always. I am your host, Tico. There's my co-host.
I'm yours truly.
There's our producer.
Producer Jay.
Keep your dang head up.
Keep your head up.
Boom.
Stick talk. Stick talk. Stick talk. Stick talk. Stick talk.